Over 600,000 people are being released from jail or prison each year, which raises concerns about public safety. Research has shown us, however, that if those who are released are able to find employment, their chances of recommitting crimes are reduced.
The research has shown that an unemployed offender is 3 times as likely as an employed offender to recidivate. And this is why this is so critical for us now in our system. If research has shown that employment leads to a reduction in recidivism, we want to be on board.
The questions that many of those who are incarcerated ask are, who will hire me? How can I find a job once I have a criminal record? Research shows that men and women who have been incarcerated are being hired and can't find work, especially if they have the skills and the desire. How do they obtain those skills if, as the research also indicates, most of those who are incarcerated don't have any skills when they are arrested? Many don't even have a high school diploma.
They've had a bad experience in school, they've dropped out. Very few of them have a certified trade of any sort. Most of them have never had a steady, regular, legal job. Many of them have drug histories, so there's a lot of disadvantages we start with. But our view is if you work with these folks properly and you demonstrate to them their potential, that not all, but a large percentage of them will get what we're trying to do, and they'll adopt the opportunity for positive change.
Most people in the institution, I firmly believe, when they get out, they want to do well. But as soon as they get out there, all those negative influences that are just waiting for them. And there has to be something to counteract that. And there has to be a desire within to withstand that pressure. But they need a lot of support.
Boy, sit. Good boy.
Most federal institutions offer some opportunities for obtaining skills or furthering education. Although the programs offered vary from institution to institution, generally there are programs that individuals can take advantage of while they are incarcerated that could make them more marketable.
I realized right after I got here that I have an option, and I can either just sit here and do nothing and wilt away for the next 4 years, or I can stay active and stay involved and find things to occupy my time.
I have certificates for drywall. I have certificates for quality assurance QA inspector. I'm taking courses in truck driving, CDL license, real estate, things of that nature.
I picked up on silk screening, spot welding, rattle seals, like the seals like when the president gives a speech on TV, and them seals that be behind him, well, them the seals that we make. And I also did some clerical work, you know, in production, in Unicor.
We have about 20,000 inmates working on any given day in prison industries. And of course, because of the turnover, there's about 30,000 inmates a year who get the chance to work in Unicor. And we do have very compelling research that has followed these inmates for as long as 16 years after release. And there's a 24% reduction in recidivism for those people who had the Unicor work experience compared to those who didn't. And a 14% greater likelihood that they're going to be employed and earning higher wages.
A job skills class is offered to inmates to help them with resume writing and with putting together an employment folder that will help them in seeking employment upon release.
Unfortunately, not enough men take advantage of it. If I had to put a number on it, I would say less than 5%. And that's sad when you say you have an institution of 1,400 people, 1,500 people, and my last class contained only 5 men. Only 7 signed up.
I was scared, actually, to take the class because I didn't actually know or was familiar with, you know, the things to do to go back out there in society. I was just gonna go out there just on my own, go see about a job, and that was it. And I thought about it and how important this was after being locked up for so long. So I decided to go back, try the class, and it overwhelmed me, you know, exactly what I had to offer.
You know, all my life, I've never actually pursued high-paying careers or actually careers in corporate America due to a fear that I actually didn't measure up. I always felt that I didn't have what it took to actually obtain and maintain positions like that. But in this employment skills class that I took, I found that I had these skills all the time. I just wasn't able to identify with them.
5 years from now, where would you
5 years from now, I'm hoping to.
Another opportunity that federal institutions offer is mock job fairs. What these fairs do is bring employers to the prison to provide inmates the opportunity to experience what it is like to interview for a job.
A lot of these inmates have very limited interviewing skills or opportunities, and so this way it gives them an opportunity to get some feedback from the vendors and to improve their interviewing skills.
And I try to stress to them honesty and be open about your job application and discuss what you were incarcerated for, because an employer is going to ask that, and take away the stigma of I'm a problem or could be a problem, and try to treat them like any other individual and give them a chance.
It opened my eyes up to a lot of things, because what I thought I didn't have, I had.
And then you subtract 3 from that, so which way are you going to go?
One-stop career centers are designed to meet the requirements of the Workforce Investment Act by providing employment, education, and training services all in one place. Located in communities across the country, they are an excellent resource for people in transition, including ex-offenders.
All of us have a comfort zone. Right. Now, we need a comfort zone.
These men and women are participants in a job skills class at the Employment Service Center in Washington, D.C. This one-stop center was home to Project Empowerment, the D.C. Reentry Pilot Program partnership, where different agencies in the district set up shop in one location to provide wraparound services to folks coming out of jail and prison.
I think that one of the major contributors to recidivism in this country, from coast to coast, is the fact that we have not had concentrated efforts to ensure that transition for returning offenders. And that's why we're realizing the success that we're seeing here in the district, because this mayor had the presence of mind to afford us the opportunity to identify one location and bring all of his services to bear to this one location.
Since I came here, now I got an opportunity to go to work and go to school. And I like to think.
Graduates of the job skills class offered at the DC One Stop Center are placed in a transitional job where they are paid by the program. The goal is for the employer to hire them permanently after a certain period of time.
It's not just about a job. It's about building your self-esteem so you'll feel good about who you are, gaining some work ethics, which means going to work on time every day. And we actually pay their salary for a certain period of time with the hope that the employer will hire them after that time.
Carolita Sutton was hired by the D.C. Department of Housing and Urban Development and was paid $7 an hour by Project Empowerment. She was then hired as a permanent staff member by the department.
And once I started with them, I started getting 13, 14, something like that, yeah. So I went from like $480 every 2 weeks to like $1,016 every 2 weeks. So that was a big difference for me.
And the next option will be to help you explore local jobs.
This Skills Source Employment Center is one of 7 under the Northern Virginia Workforce Investment Board. Located in Alexandria, Virginia, it houses the Virginia Serious and Violent Offender Reentry Program, or VASAVOR. The program is a collaboration of the Workforce Investment Board, Opportunity Alternative Resources, Mental Health of Fairfax County, Parole and Probation, and the Sheriff's Department.
They're required to come and see me every Tuesday afternoon. And what we do is we start an employment plan. We look for basic needs, what wage is a good fit for this client, what type of skills they have learned during the jail system, what else can we do, develop a resume, what supportive services can we provide to help this person retain a job while they're out there.
They've helped me in a lot of areas, but most of all, they've helped me to gain my self-esteem and my worthiness, to know that I can do this if I'm willing to commit myself and do the hard work.
We buy tools for a certain job. We do on-the-job training, which is a program that pays half of the wage for the first 3 months, so the employers can benefit from this. We also do federal bonding. Each bond is worth $5,000 for the employer to hire any of our clients. And we also offer tax breaks to employers that are interested in working with us.
And I kept opening up the paper, and every time I was looking at the paper, it was an advertisement for HVAC apprentice, $12 an hour, HVAC apprentice, $15 an hour. And I said, okay, this is it. You know, them rules are not too high. And I went to Mooley and I asked him, you know, I'm already in welding school now. I want to do this. I want to do this. Can we get this start day at such and such a day? And they had me going to 2 schools at one time. And, you know, okay, this is good. And like I said, I was very impressed and surprised by the amount of support that they was giving me. And, you know, I didn't think I deserved it.
Today, Vincent is getting on-the-job training in the install department of a heating and air conditioning company.
I found the job at a job fair that I knew was being advertised with the Workforce Investment Board here. Basically, on one board, I went to one place, they said, oh, they got a job fair up at the other place. Here's a bus ticket. So finding a job itself could have been difficult. I have a significant criminal history, but now I work in a Homeland Security secure area. I work at an airport with an airline company.
Okay, and what do you do?
I'm a passenger service agent and customer service trainer.
They've been in isolation for many years, so everything is a challenge. Therefore, we need to have somebody in every center, not only in Virginia, throughout the country, that can understand the needs of ex-offenders.
I need you to fill out this packet and return it to me once you finish, and then we'll get you to see something.
Okay. In Baltimore, Maryland, the Northwest Career Center One Stop is located in Mondawmin Mall. It was determined to be an excellent location for housing the city's reentry program, or REC, since it is next door to parole and probation and to subway and bus stops.
What we were very lucky at doing is bringing in the other partners like child support and housing and ID to the table to say, hey, we also need you. I tell any client who comes over here, you're going to have to meet us halfway. In fact, most of them I tell them, hey, you're going to have to do 80 to 90% of the work. We're going to give you the information, we're going to provide you with the resources, but you're going to have to do the follow-up. And I also want to be honest that if you come in here looking for employment, most likely you're not going to find employment the first day you're here. You might not even find it the second, third, or fourth day. And so you've got to be vigilant to want to keep coming back and looking at the opportunities.
I got lined up with a school, you know, they helped me get some financial benefits from social services and stuff like that. They also helped me get lined up with a job, you know. Right now, working at Layers 1 at $14 an hour. I put as much as 20 hours a week and no less than 12 hours.
Matthew Palmer also took advantage of the opportunities provided him at the Northwest Career Center. They helped him to go back to school and to obtain a CDL license.
When you come out the door, don't think that you're going to have what everybody else has just coming out the door. It's not going to be an easy road. You know what I mean? You're going to, like I came home, I worked for a year for $8 an hour at a dealership, and I had to beg for that job. But from that job, I got an excellent reference.
Today, he is making more than $18 an hour hauling concrete.
In Baltimore City, they have so many programs for ex-cons and drug addicts that want to get themselves together that you really can't go wrong. If you want to change your life, you can.
They're going to get your CDL, and that's going to get you back into the driving routine.
Jericho is a reentry program funded by the Department of Labor and frequently refers clients to the Northwest Career Center's One Stop.
The One Stop Center at the Rec Center particularly has been an excellent resource for us. We have found that we can send individuals for Social Security, for child support abatement, for identification needs, all in one place. And we frequently, while we receive referrals from the One Stop, we frequently send them back for ancillary services that we can't provide here.
The One Stop Centers, we certainly refer our offenders to them, but I believe that they're really underutilized by our offenders. We refer them, they may go, but they may not enroll in the program that they offer. If they do, they're quite successful. If the offenders enroll in the program and really use their services, they can be successful.
In the best of all worlds, I think it would be great if each one-stop offered services for offender reentry, being that we have 600,000 offenders coming out to the community at a given point. So I think it would be a good idea. Whether that's going to happen in the real world, I don't know, but I think it would be great if we did have that available to us.
One of the underlying reasons for the success of individuals who come out of jail or prison and finding employment is preparation. Taking advantage of programs that are offered while incarcerated, however insignificant they may seem, can be a plus to the experiences that a potential employer may look at. Following are recommendations that may aid individuals to find employment once released. First, if you don't have a high school diploma, it is imperative that you obtain a GED. Try to obtain some form of ID while you are incarcerated. Having to secure an ID after you are released will delay your chances of finding employment. Take whatever classes or programs are offered, even if you don't intend to work in that area. Having different experiences that you can put in a resume can only add to your marketability. Participate in mock job fairs to prepare you for how to conduct yourself in a job interview. Participate in a job skills class and post-release employment programs at least 6 months prior to your release, and secure an employment handbook and an employment folder. Investigate the federal bonding program and employer tax credit, which can be of interest to potential employers.
It sort of acknowledges that some people are going to be reluctant to hire ex-felons. And this tries to level the playing field a little bit by saying, if you have reservations about their honesty, and you hire these people anyway, which we urge you to do, we will bond you for any dishonest acts this person might commit for their first 6 months of employment, up to $5,000, no deductible. It's a very compelling reason, I think, for them to give more consideration to an ex-felon than they might otherwise, all things being equal.
Once you are released, look for a one-stop center in your community, or one of the number of reentry programs that are springing up around the country that are designed specifically for the ex-offender.
You've got to start somewhere. And from that first job, we can start building on you and trying to move you up the ladder.
To anybody I say, learn to be the most confident you can be on any level you want to be. At that time, you have confidence in yourself, and the confidence that you have presents itself to the people that you're talking with.
This program got education, job skills. They got computers out there right now, you know. I mean, it's what you make it.
A lot of guys walk away because they get discouraged. They walk off, or they go out there and they get back into what they're into, you know. And it's a big test. But for me, it was a test that I wasn't planning on failing.